Greg. We'll start with a thought of the day. Um, as we approach St. Patrick's Day, we often talk about luck, but in Kiwanis, we know something important. The good that happens in our communities isn't luck at all. It's the result of people who choose to serve. Children don't thrive because of four-leaf clovers. Communities grow stronger because people show up, care deeply, and act generously. So today, let's remember the real luck of the Irish in our towns is a Kiwanian willing to raise a hand and say, I'll help. And with that, I thank all of you for stepping up and raising a hand and saying, I'll help. Do we have any new members to introduce today?
Doesn't look like we have anyone on the call. Maybe later, if someone pops on, we can have them say a word.
Thank you. You can find the upcoming dates under the events section of our website, indykiwanis.org. Be sure to save the third Thursday monthly on your calendars. Now for our Columbia Club meetings. March 19th is lunch at the Columbia Club with former IU Athletic Director Fred Glass, current CEO of Gleaners Food Bank. Also that day, we'll have our 2025 Starfish Initiative grant recipient there. And then our in-person lunch in April will be on the 16th. And that will be 500 Festival CEO Dave Neff. That day, we're also inviting other clubs in the Indianapolis area to join us for this meeting. So hopefully we will have a big crowd. I understand that Lieutenant Governor Sandy and our club have been coordinating to make that lunch happen. Our next Zoom is April 2nd. We'll have artist Scott Osborne and actor Cindy Collins with No Title Needed show. They tape every Monday at Feinstein's at the Hotel Carmichael, featuring some familiar guests like Pete Ward of the Colts and Ashton Gleckman. We do not have a May Zoom date yet, but are looking to have Megan Tomlinson with Silver Lining of Hope come talk to us about Haley's Law, silver alerts, and online safety for teens. If you are interested in serving on the board, please reach out to me. The club board meets for about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half every month to discuss programming for the club and set priorities. It is a great opportunity to make an impact in the services we provide to the community. I'll be stepping into the past president's role on October 1st, and Wendy Paddock will be serving as president. But we do have at least one club board opening. Roger, Iozos.
Thank you, Jeff. Reminder, we've changed our monthly lunch meetings at Iozos to the fourth Monday of each month. So this month it's going to be on the 23rd of March. Come and join us. We've got great Italian food, great atmosphere, and great people to be with. So come and join us at camp. You can RSVP to me, email, or give me a call. Thank you.
Again, I'm not going to let the moment pass and not reiterate how delicious Iozos is. So if you have a chance to get down there and join us, real relaxing lunch, great food, Monday, March 23rd. Since Steve Farrow is not here, I will just remind you to join us on Thursday, March 25th at Cambridge Fieldhouse for the boys state finals lunch. Now we'll be welcoming 8 boys teams, the city and county coaches and players of the year, and presenting the Mills Memorial MVP scholarship. We'll also present the Outstanding Female Athletic Scholarship at the IHSAA Impact Awards at Colts Gridiron Hall on April 12th. Nominations will be finalized next week. We are certainly thankful for the collaboration that we have with the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
It looks like Steve just popped on. Steve, do you have anything you want to add about basketball or female athlete?
No, not really. Just I wanted to clarify that it was Thursday the 26th. That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Steve. Laura.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. I'm actually on my way home from the Listen to Our Future facility, one of our grant recipients from this year. So they gave a wonderful presentation and tour of the facility, and it took a little bit longer than I thought. But uh, I don't know if I have all that much to update on Key Club. I think the last time we talked, you guys all heard about the results from the district leadership conference that we had at the beginning of the month. We had successful election for the Indiana District Board, and we've got three of our Key Club members on the district board and serving as governor and secretary treasurer and board webmaster as well. So that was a successful time, and now we're getting our club officers elected, and yeah, I think that's about all.
Any questions for Laura? Looks like we had a couple of grant check deliveries. Art, can you share with us about your check delivery to the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library?
Yes, on Monday, I met with the leadership team at the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library and presented them with a $5,000 grant in support of their youth writing program, where they seek to empower and amplify student voices by connecting them with mentors. And they have about, excuse me, about a little over 6,000 participants, students at various Indianapolis public schools. And I met with Julia Whitehead, the founder and executive director, Chris Speckman, who is the program director for the writing program, and Pat Downey, who's the general manager of the museum, Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library. And I also spent about 45 minutes with them after the presentation, talking about and learning about more about the program and how they really were very appreciative for sure. And they also emphasized that the $5,000 grant was really, really important because they're not a large nonprofit, and the grant was really impactful in being able to do that through the program. And Julie also mentioned that they were very, very close with Greg Silver, who was a supporter of the library, and expressed their condolences about Greg's passing, certainly. And also, they posted the picture that was just on the screen. They actually posted it to their Facebook page before I even got home. So it was very quickly, and they also took some other pictures which are going to appear in their monthly newsletter. And they have about 39,000 followers on Facebook. So a lot of people, I think, saw their um, posting of the presentation. So
Had you visited the Kurt Vonnegut Museum before, or
I
did you get a
had, I
chance
was
to
there.
go through it?
Yeah, pardon me. I had been there a couple years ago, and in fact, I bought a copy of Slaughterhouse Five when I was there a few years ago, which I thought was really appropriate to buy at the Kurt Vonnegut Library. And it is really a great museum and library, and they promote education for youth a lot more than you might think about for a typical museum and library of that kind. But it's well worth going to, for sure.
Excellent. It's one of those things where if I've got a weekend moment and I turn to my wife, I'm like, let's
Mhm.
do something local. I should throw the Kurt Vonnegut
Yeah,
Museum into that
yeah.
mix. All right, thank you for that update.
Sure.
I'd like to introduce Katie Demas. She's the Associate Executive Director of A Kid Again, Indiana chapter, to share a little bit about their organization.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to join. It's really amazing to hear all the great work you guys are doing in the community. So super thankful that A Kid Again has been a beneficiary of your guys' grants in the past, and just excited to share a little bit more about what we're doing across the state of Indiana at Kid Again. So, like Jeff said, I am the Associate Executive Director. I've been with the chapter for 4 years now, and A Kid Again has been in existence in Indiana since 2018. Our whole purpose is to serve families raising children with life-threatening conditions. So we do this by hosting year-round, cost-free, carefree events that we call adventures. They are extremely fun. They are the chance for a family to come together and make a positive memory as they go through some of the hardest times of their lives, facing whatever diagnosis and disease their child has. We currently serve families across the entire state of Indiana, over 1,200 of them, and we know there are many more families out there that we could be serving. Our kiddos who are enrolled are ages 0 to 20, and they have all different kinds of diseases and diagnoses. You think of your cancer kiddos and cerebral palsy, but we also serve families raising children with type 1 diabetes, severe asthma, rare diseases, sickle cell. And we really try to wrap our arms around just as many families as possible. Some of those niche diagnoses don't, those families with the kids that have those diagnoses don't always have a nonprofit or a place to be a part of, but A Kid Again really welcomes as many families as possible, like I said. Some of our families with rare diseases, they are 1 in 50, 1 in 100 with that specific condition. So we are excited that we get to welcome them to our adventures. There are a few things about our program that make us unique. Like I said, they're year round. So we are hosting our adventures throughout the entire year, typically 4 to 6. This really allows for these events to be the bright spot on the calendar. It's something to look forward to. The way we look forward to time off or family vacations or Kiwanis meetings, our families get to look forward to a fun time where they can come together and make a memory. Sometimes that anticipation is more healing and therapeutic than the actual adventure itself. So that model of consistency is very intentional in what we do, and something I love about our program. Secondly, all of our adventures are large group family outings, so we're inviting all of our families to every single adventure. If all 1,200 of them came, we would, have close to 6,000 people on an event, which would be a good problem to have. But we typically see, anywhere from 500 to 750 individuals at any given adventure. Our holiday adventure is a family favorite, and we usually see over 1,200 people there at that one. But this model allows for families to come alongside other families going through a similar situation. Right, they get to bring their kiddo to Kings Island or to the Indiana State Fairgrounds or to the Children's Museum and be around other families who are walking similar paths as them. Their kid gets to see other kiddos in wheelchairs or with G tubes and trachs, or bald from chemo, whatever it is. And that sense of community, that sense of belonging is so important. And our families become great friends from adventures that, that friendship and support system transcends just the events that A Kid Again is hosting. Lastly, one of my favorite things about what we do, that's kind of specific to A Kid Again, is we serve the entire family unit. So while the child with the diagnosis allows the family to be a part of A Kid Again, we uplift big brother, little sister just as much as the child with the diagnosis. And we want them to feel special and loved and cared for and seen at every adventure as well. To no fault of anyone's, right? Our siblings of their medically complex children often get put on the back burner. They are spending their childhood in hospital settings alongside their sibling. And so for them to come take a time out from illness and make those memories as a family unit is extremely important. And it also unburdens some of our parents, right? They're not worrying about logistics, they're not worrying about parking, they're not worried about the financial aspect of an adventure. We really strive to take care of every single thing so they can just show up, have a good time. That is one of my favorite pieces of what we do, because even if, let's say, we're going to the Children's Museum and the enrolled child, doesn't really want to go, not really a fan of the Children's Museum, but little sister is her favorite place in the world, we still encourage mom or dad to bring the little sister to the adventure. On a flip of a dime, let's say the enrolled child just had a surgery, just had treatment, isn't feeling well, can't come to the adventure, but little sister was so excited. Once again, we still encourage mom or dad to bring the little sister to the adventure, and make a positive memory, because it's just as much for them as it is for the enrolled child. I hit some of them, right? We've done the Children's Museum. We always go to Kings Island. We have a national partnership with them, and they are so gracious in hosting our families at the park. We've done sporting events, Colts games, Pacers, you name it. Holiday adventures where we all get together on the holidays and all of our kiddos get to see Santa and get a present, and bounce houses, gaming trucks, you name it. We have a lot of fun. Sometimes day to day, I just feel extremely lucky to do what I do to provide memories for our families and facilitate a place where they can just think back on as they're in the hospital getting treatment or going through their tough times, that they do. So it's really fun. Of course, we could not be doing what we're doing without individuals like you all who volunteer their time, who give financially. We're very thankful, for all the people who love on our kiddos, and we're hosting fundraising events throughout the year, as well as adventures that always provide volunteer opportunities. And I'm happy to share some of those on the back end of this if you guys are looking to get more involved. But really, it's all about the kids. And I'll share a quick story before, we can look at this video that I sent over. We just hosted our first adventure of the year on Sunday at a place called Malibu Jack's in Lafayette. You've ever heard of it or you've ever been there, it is a wild place. It's a huge building, and I'm talking anything imaginable: go-karting, laser tag, putt-putting, roller coasters, mini ones in the facility, games, everything. Our families love it. And we have a Purdue club at Purdue that helps volunteer for the entire event. And I was there and walking around, just watching our families on all the rides, and got the opportunity to meet a mom that I had not met before, and asked her if her kiddo was on the go-karts. We were standing over there. She said yes. She shared with me that this was their first adventure. They had never been to Malibu Jackson. They just enrolled a month ago. And I introduced myself and said, we're so happy you're here. I hope you're having a great time. And she goes on to tell me that on the go-karts is her sixth grader, Jackson, who just 4 months ago was diagnosed with lymphoblastic leukemia. And she got tears in her eyes, and she looked at me and she said, Katie, this is the first fun thing that we've been able to do since Jackson got diagnosed. And just am so thankful that we are here and we're having so much fun. And I gave her a quick hug, and got to learn more about her family and Jackson's diagnosis and what they've been going through. And something else she emphasized is Jackson has 3 little brothers. And she loved that they were running around enjoying the adventure just as much as Jackson was. And just a really great way to remember who we're serving and that what we're doing is making a difference. I have lots of stories on lots of families, but that happened just this past Sunday, and was really special to be able to connect with her and know that they were making positive memories during a really crucial, and impactful and hard part of their lives. The video we're about to play is another family who I've gotten very close with. This is the Graham family. They are phenomenal. Paisley is such a hoot. They've become great advocates for what we do and love sharing their story. and love the Malibu Jacks adventure, actually. Paisley convinced my counterpart, Brooke, to ride one of the roller coasters with her last year, and they are just a great example of the change we're trying to make in the community and the impact we're trying to have on our families. So go ahead and watch the video.
Hi, I'm Susan. My daughter, Paisley, is our kid with a kid again. Paisley's a 24-week micro preemie. She was 1 pound, 12 ounces at birth. She had some severe brain bleeds, which caused hydrocephalus and cerebral palsy, and eventually epilepsy. Her first seizure was 45 minutes, and it was very much life-threatening. At that point, things changed for us. When you're a kid with hydrocephalus and cerebral palsy and epilepsy, there's some really scary things that you have to live through, and you dread them. But giving her the chance to look forward to something that is happy and it's joyful and it's exciting and you're gonna have fun and there's gonna be other kids there who have wheelchairs and love string crutches, and you're gonna talk shop about your wheelchairs and compare your decorations on your wheels and all of those fun things. Mentally, it takes you from a place of what scary thing's gonna happen to me to I'm so excited to show up to a kid again. One of our favorite moments was at Kings Island. She was trying to get out of the wheelchair. Like, she was leaping as much as a child with cerebral palsy leaps. She was leaping out of this chair because she saw another kid with left hand crutches. And she wanted to go talk to that little girl. And that was the first time she'd ever gotten to do that. She had never been able to talk to another child about crutches, about her everyday life, and about her life experiences. And so that was like, it was just this moment, and it meant the world to her to have that conversation and to have a moment of, hey, this person gets me. I can talk to this person about my life and my experiences. And it's not our day-to-day, but at a kid again, she's just a regular kid.
I get tears in my eyes and goosebumps every time I watch it. I've seen that video about a million times and have, like I said, the great privilege to know Paisley, Susan, and her family pretty well. And they just are such an embodiment of the courage and the bravery that our families have as they go through, like I said, extremely tough times that often span across multiple years. And Paisley recently, end of last year, had surgery, and were able to get her back to adventures to enjoy post-surgery fun. So I love a kid again. Obviously, I'm biased, but super thankful for you all for supporting us and selecting a kid again as a grant recipient at the end of last year. And like I said, there's lots of different ways to get involved, whether it's volunteering or supporting our families at lots of different adventures. So just super thankful for not only the impact you all have made on a kid again and listening to me today, because you all might have someone in your lives that could benefit from what we're doing. So please send them our way. So thank you for your support for a kid again, but thank you so much for your support of so many deserving causes across, the Indianapolis local community. You all are making such an impact, and feel very thankful and lucky that there are great people out there like you who want to make an impact on so many different causes and so many different families and kiddos. So that's what I
Thank
got.
you for joining us, Katie. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Just FYI to the club members. So a kid again was our Q4 2025 Speaker Honorarium Grant recipient. So Katie, appreciate you giving us a little behind the scenes and detail with respect to a kid again.
Yeah.
Any questions for Katie while we've got her here? Excellent. Thank you again, Katie.
Of course. Thank you.
Like to introduce Our speaker, Celeste Ballou, she's Senior Vice President of Marketing for Indiana Sports Corporation. She is the division and committee lead for the outreach division of the Men's Final Four local organizing committee. She's a graduate of Butler University and has previously led marketing efforts at Cunningham Restaurant Group, USA Football, Lids, and Pacer Sports and Entertainment. Celeste, it's all yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And man, that's a really tough act to follow with so many great stories from a kid again. So I'm here though to share everything with all of you that's going around the men's Final Four coming up in Indianapolis. As mentioned, I'm from Indiana Sports Corp. We're the sports commission here in Indianapolis that helps bring these major events to our city and the things that we're known for, but also the impact that it makes in our community as well. So there's actually more than just a couple basketball games going on too. So I'm excited to share all of that with you so you can be aware and hopefully share with your communities as well of what to expect when the Final Four comes here in just a few weeks, which is crazy enough. Um, this will actually be our ninth men's Final Four here in Indianapolis, which we are tied for the record of most hosted. We will host again in 29, and so we will be the record holders after that of the most Final Fours hosted in one city. So our last full men's Final Four was actually 2015. As you can see here, Lucas Oil Stadium, but we hosted the entire men's Final Four tournament in 2021. It looked a little different than that previous picture, but closed down due to COVID. But the whole entire tournament was here in Indiana at many various sites that helped really keep basketball alive during a time when things were really tumultuous. But excited to welcome everybody back here again, full capacity in all of the fan events. As I mentioned, it's not just basketball games, but we have several too. In addition to the Final Four, April 4th and 6th at Lucas Oil Stadium, we are also crowning 4 champions total over the weekend here in Indianapolis. So the Division II and Division III men's basketball championships will be played at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Sunday, April 5th. And the NIT semifinals and championship are at Hinkle and Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So the NIT is the Division I tournament for teams that don't make the typical March Madness bracket. So those champions will be crowned. So 3 games at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Sunday, April 5th, and all 4 champions crowned in one weekend here in the city. We're expecting quite a few fans, but obviously want to engage our local community. But we'll expect out-of-town arrivals to come in Thursday through Monday. Like I mentioned, different from past years is that this will have the Division II, Division III, and NIT championships on Sunday. But we're also making people aware and reminding too, April 5th is Easter Sunday. So we know that there are some conflicts, but we're hoping that ways that people can work in their family traditions with some of the schedules that we have going on later in the day too on Sunday. And then Passover is also April 1st through 9th. So we recognize that there's some overlap here of some religious traditions too. But I talked a lot about basketball, but basketball fan or not, we actually have quite a few other activities that I want to walk you through, and then the impact that it's making on our community, like I mentioned as well, to make you aware of. The first is Men's Final Four Fan Fest. Goes for 4 days at the Indiana Convention Center. We'd love for you to attend. Tickets are $10, but if you use that code, you can buy one, get one free. It's a great opportunity for interactive games, autograph signings, meet and greets, all kinds of things you'll see in a typical fan fest at the convention center, and a great way to get involved or be part of the action without having a ticket to the game. But what we're really excited about is Reese's Final Four Friday at Lucas Oil Stadium. This is the Friday before the weekend starts. It is totally free, no ticket required, no reservation, just show up and hang out, and you can see all 4 Final Four teams practice live and in person at Lucas Oil Stadium. And then the best part, at least for me, is the parking is free too, because if anybody knows, like, I need to know where I'm parking before I go. So South lot of Lucas Oil Stadium is totally free. Again, entry is free, and we're hoping the community can really show out, because this is a rare opportunity that you get to see those Final Four teams without having to pay a dime. So it's great. Men's Final Four tailgate will take place on Georgia Street. Georgia Street will be reopened. It's currently under renovations with some more activations. We'll have men's and women's Final Four viewing parties, interactive games, and giveaways. That's right outside the entrance to FanFest, too, that was mentioned before. And then we are getting really close to capacity on this event, but it's totally free for kids 18 and younger. And it's the men's Final Four dribble presented by Geico. So, like you may see a typical like 5K route, this is a mile route that kids, instead of running, will dribble a basketball through. So, for free, they get a free t shirt, a free basketball. We'll start at Carroll Stadium at IU Indy and then end at FanFest. And then they get to go into FanFest for free with a parent or guardian, too. So, a really great experience. It is on Sunday, but starts at 1 p.m. So again, hoping people can work their maybe holiday traditions in the morning and join us for the afternoon. If you know a kiddo that may be interested in that, like I said, we're getting really close to full, so I'd recommend signing up sooner than later too. And then just announced yesterday, we will have 3 nights of totally free concerts at American Legion Mall downtown. Yesterday, they announced the headlining artists. We'll have Zach Brown Band, 21 Pilots, and then some others like Megan Maroney. One headliner is still to be announced, so that'll come later this month. But these are some really big names. I think people of all ages will be interested and excited in them. And again, totally free, no ticket required. Fans are just encouraged to show up here at American Legion Mall. So those are the fan events around the game, but like I mentioned, we really are focusing on the community impact as well that the leaves behind even after the Final Four leaves our city. So we are working on a men's Final Four legacy project. This is a photo from the announcement at Christian Park Family Center on the Near East Side, where Dove Men Plus Care, Indiana Sports Corp, and the NCAA are working on a total renovation for them, completely refurbishing their courts, all of their athletic spaces. They also have some different community spaces, a community library, areas where families and kids come hang out that we're refreshing almost every space in this building. So that work is in process right now, and we're going to unveil that April 2nd, right before Final Four weekend tips off. We've also been engaging many, almost hundreds of third grade classrooms across the state for Read to the Final Four. So since November, a competition started where we had kids logging their minutes read for obviously reading books from then until now, and we put them in a bracket style tournament and had these schools go head to head against others. And the schools and classrooms with the most minutes read will get to come to Final Four Friday and get to be celebrated as part of Final Four weekend as well, where it's really exciting. And we've seen already over 22 million minutes read of these classrooms as well. Selection Sunday is this Sunday, so that'll be when the bracket is announced too. And we are engaging more the Read to the Final Fours for third graders. This is for any classroom that wants to participate, a bracket challenge. It's a classroom activity where basically we're encouraging the teacher to have their classroom fill out a bracket. It doesn't have to be basketball focused. It can be picking between mascots, picking between colors, all of those things, and figuring out ways to work it into the curriculum. And this came about because there was a classroom a few years ago. It was a second grade teacher that had his students just pick based on whatever they were feeling, whether they liked a certain color or mascot better. And then they ended up placing in the top 5 in the entire nation out of millions and millions of brackets. So we're hoping to see if a local school here from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade can really predict the Final Four bracket as well. And then part of our efforts too is honoring Jim Morris. Jim died in 2024, but he was a civic leader who really helped shape Indianapolis and where we have become as a sports destination. He's a big reason why the NCAA headquarters moved here over 26 years ago. And so we're honoring him throughout the weekend as well between a few different ways. We will have the Jim Morris Day of Service on March 24th, where we'll be cleaning up. We have over 650 volunteers helping to clean up and beautify our city to get it ready for the men's Final Four and all the visitors that we're about to welcome. We're also partnering with the IBJ that they are picking 10 community leaders to recognize for the Jim Morris Day of Service or for the Be Better Awards, and we'll recognize them at the Jim Morris Day of Service. But we're hosting these award winners and calling out people that really embodied Jim's spirit as well, and the focus on community and seeing opportunity in its largest possible context. And then, of course, one of the things Indy really does well that we want to continue to focus on is figuring out ways to work in our local arts and culture too. This isn't just about sports, but trying to provide a platform across all different genres for local artists to showcase their work. So we will have 5 different locations across the city where we'll have, whether it's a performing artist, a visual artist, all different mediums doing their work, playing whatever that looks like for them within those spaces to give that local flavor of Indianapolis and show off our arts and culture, just amazing personalities all throughout the weekend. So again, whether you're local or we're talking to people from out of town, we're just hoping to expand our indie culture and what makes us special to all of these people who are visiting. So that kind of sums everything up. It is there's lots of free and low cost activities. There's plenty of things for everyone. We're working on making a difference in the community as well while showcasing our arts and culture. And again, one of the great things I think we all know about downtown Indy is that it is really walkable. We've seen the Final Four in many other cities where it's 45 to an hour drive. Between venues going from the Fan Fest or to the games, however that looks like. So we are really fortunate in Indy to have a place where all of these things can come together. So that's what we're reminding visitors who come here as well, but all of you that hope you're able to take part in some of it or all of it. And we hope to see you downtown here in just a few weeks for the Final Four. Any questions? Anything else I can help clarify?
Thank you, Celeste. Is there that dribble, which is a fun idea, is that
Yeah.
the first time that that's been done?
No, they've done it for a few years now. I think it may have started here, but it's become an NCAA tradition. They had something similar also last summer for WNBA All-Star, and it was a big hit. So we found that the kids love to participate in this event. It's really
Yeah,
exciting.
I was thinking it's one of those things that, as you said, Indianapolis is very good at hosting events like this. It's one of those things that uh, its genesis is here in the city, and then everybody just starts to do it, and then becomes, bigger and bigger thing. So good that we actually started that. Mhm. Yeah. Any other questions for Celeste? Roger.
I've got a question. How much control do you have over opening Illinois Street and Capitol Street?
We are working, actually, Capitol is going to open before the Final Four, but then it's going to close for the Final Four too, some of those fan activations on Georgia Street. So don't get too comfortable. But Illinois will still be closed because of that bridge construction. But we are working with city leaders on a few other construction spots around the city to make sure they're cleared and that the roads are open because we know construction can be a headache. But more than anything, the one street closure, Illinois, is for the construction, but the other one is for fan safety more than anything. But trying to make our city look its best, but also the most accessible too.
Thank you. Sounds like a lot of fun coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a question. I've got a question also. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Luke.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve. Fire away.
Well, mine's related to street closures. So I agree with you that we have a great walkable city, and I'm listening to my friends on social media complain about the Big Ten tournament up in Chicago that, once you walk out of the United Center, you've got to drive somewhere. It's horrible. But so regarding the concerts on the American Legion Mall, will the streets be closed on either side of that? So like, will Meridian and Pennsylvania be closed to support walking traffic, or what's the situation there?
Yeah, and I can share with all of you, there'll be some street closures starting next week, mostly partial, like some lane restrictions while they start to load in, and then continue to restrict some lanes. But then around the concerts, yes, there'll be total closures around. So that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, hoping to avoid as much rush hour traffic as possible for downtown. But yes, for fan safety, almost that entire perimeter around American Legion will be closed for the music festival portion.
Any clue who the last announcement is? Who the major artist is?
I have not heard, but they've told me it's a big name, so I'm excited to see who it is.
Okay. A question: they clean up Indianapolis. What's that about? And volunteer opportunities?
Sure. Yeah. The Jim Morris Day of Service. We are still we're working on that. I guess that's now just less than 2 weeks away. That's on March 24th. If you go to final4indy.com, we've got some details there. We are really close to capacity, I think, with all of the volunteers that we're able to take there too. But if you are interested, we also have other volunteer opportunities. I looked today. We are full right now. Indianapolis is amazing in getting volunteer recruitment, though we don't have any volunteer shifts ready yet. But we know some open up based on people that maybe that cancel or some additional needs that we find too. So you're able to register to volunteer on our site for anything around the Final Four. And if and when we have opportunities, we'll let you know too. But it's a good thing and a bad thing that all of our volunteer shifts are filled because we've had such an amazing response too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Celeste? Okay, seeing none. Celeste, appreciate you stopping by and
Yeah.
sharing. We'll be making a donation in your honor to the Mary Rig Neighborhood Center to support the expansion of the food market that they recently opened. The food market provides healthy food to children and families in the Indianapolis metro area. So again, thank you for
Amazing.
joining us
Thank
today.
you. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you for that donation. That's amazing.
Going up my announcements here. Just a reminder, our next Zoom is April 2nd, and that's Scott Osborne and Cindy Collins of the No Title Needed show. Until then, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.